dating is really hard. It's really hard to get your hopes up about somebody and then have it not work out. I'm not crying over a man. I'm kind of am, but I also haven't eaten, so I'm emotional. But this is just going to be a really vulnerable post, I guess. I'm trying really hard to put myself out there. I am putting myself out there. But I feel like I don't find a lot of people that I'm interested in, or that I'm attracted to, or that there's that connection in a multitude of ways. And so when you finally do find somebody like that and it doesn't work, I don't want to say I'm gutted. That's too strong. I'm actually okay. Despite this, I'm actually okay. But it is disappointing because you get excited. Then you have to rally and you have to put yourself back out there. And Merlin series trying to make me feel better. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm bummed and dating gets me down sometimes. And I'm trying to practice what I preach and do everything the right way and meet people in person or on apps. I don't care. I'm not going to discriminate at this point, even though I think the apps suck. But I just really want my person. I'm really tired of being alone. And it's, people will say, like, you will find it when you least expect it. But, like, how are you going to find something if you're not looking, if you're not putting it out there? So I am putting it out there. I'm going through the motions. I'm doing the work. And I just have to remember that I'm not in control and I can only do what I can do. But that really sucks. And I feel like I constantly oscillate between seeing, happy single women on here who are going, pick your partner wisely and just wait and just stay single and everything's fine. And I get that and I believe that. But I think about how happy I've been in my partnerships when I've had them and when they were good. And I miss that feeling so badly. And I don't want to date from a point of desperation because it's not that. And I'm not going to pick somebody just to have somebody. But I'm really tired.
Honestly, I'm not going to give her too much of a hard time because I've seen some of her other content. And she was actually shooting her shot, trying to reach out to some other dudes. And it looked like it worked for a little while, but then it's back and it didn't work. So you know what? I'm not going to go too hard on her and just say, hopefully everything works out for you, assuming that you're doing the right thing. You're not out here trying to trash people and manipulate guys. Hopefully everything works out.
So Tyler, I love being single. I am very comfortable being single, but tonight I hung out with friends and I had a great time, and then I was driving home and I started feeling this wave of depression and anxiety, and I wasn't really sure what it was related to or where it was stemming from. And then I got home and I felt just so sad and lonely, and I walked into my empty apartment and I thought, God, I wish that I had someone who could just hold me right now. I wish that I had someone who could just take care of me, because I have to take care of myself every single day and it's exhausting, and I just want someone to take care of me every now and then.
Don't try to get a rich man unless you're about to try to live that traditional life. If you find a rich man and you live at home with him, that is the trad wife. You are now a trophy. Especially if you find some old ass man that's gonna do it. You have to be his trophy. It's not just oh no girl, I just sit and exist. No, you're a trophy. Those are the feminist creators that come on here and promote finding a rich man. Do you know that you are promoting the trad wife lifestyle? Do you know the muffin man? Because yes, I worked at the club, but I don't promote that to anybody. Matter of fact, I say that all women could not do it because you have to be emotionally detached to deal with men. Same with the whole find a rich man, sprinkle. It is not for everybody. One of y'all's favorite creators on here is telling y'all, if you're pretty, get a rich man, or do content. When actually you can go to school and you can get a career as well. You actually don't have to do anything that involves men at all. After being fired from the club and doing content for 4 months, I saw that, oh my god, there's other options besides working at the club. No way. I've known this. To me, it's funny seeing feminist women that say they're feminists continue to hold up this idea of finding a traditional man. I even know someone who voted left, but she tells me that he pays for everything because those are traditional values. If you're gonna deal with men in any sort of way, if you don't have the self-control, I say stay focused on the resources. I'm not saying get married and tied down. Don't play house with him. Don't be his trophy wife. It is a temporary game. Unless you're trying to have a baby with a trick, then don't do that. I actually know somebody who went that route and, well, they didn't even get married and she ended up having a tricked baby. Embarrassing. This is why I say all women cannot play that game, because she got tricked by a trick. To me, it's not very feminist to tell women to live the trad wife right-wing lifestyle while talking about all the women on the right, because I thought feminism was all about leftist ideologies. Oh, like picking and choosing. See, I get the game now. It's not about the whole truth. It's just about picking the things that make you feel comfortable. Meanwhile, your favorite creators, YV and that one other wannabe model, are living two lives that are not very feminist. Preaching feminism, which I find is weird. Again, I never came on here promoting SW to any women. Matter of fact, I think OF is a scam. And I'm also going to keep talking about that too, because I think all women have been tricked into doing OF. By some of your favorite feminist creators even. They have led you down a path to hell. And I think more women need to start talking about their experiences with OF to help educate other women. Because I'm only one person, but I will speak the truth about these industries. Being with a splendid daddy, eventually you're gonna have to give up some, I say you do it short term, but eventually you're gonna need to give it up. So S-work is not the answer. I thought being traditional wasn't the answer either, but now I'm confused because these creators are in fact promoting that lifestyle. Which one is it?
You know, men have been telling you guys this stuff over and over again, but you act like you can't hear it. Men have been saying to you guys, avoid this, don't go here, don't do that. But what they get called is manipulative, controlling, misogynistic, narcissist, and the like. Been telling y'all, don't go over here, showing your bodies off. Oh, if you're insecure, just say that. Okay. You know what? Go ahead and do what you want to do. And now you want other women to speak out against something that men have been telling you not to do? I don't get it. A woman in the comments said, exactly. I tried to make money out of the male gaze, but it's not worth it. The price is always high when dealing with them. So let me get this straight. You decided that you was going to try to exploit men. And then when it was hard for you to exploit and manipulate somebody else, you said, I'm going to move around and try to find another grift. I'm going to move around and try to find some honest work now. I was out here trying to take them for all of their assets, all their worth. But I found out these men aren't as stupid as I thought they were. So I'm not just making money hand over fist. Let me get back into school and find an honest line of work.
How does that look like for you? You live in LA. I feel like it's maybe more difficult. I don't know.
Are you single?
I am single.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then maybe it goes for both of us.
Okay.
But this is so funny because I was actually just talking to my girlfriends about this. This is a very prominent conversation in all of our lives. Is like, I look around and I see beautiful, successful, intelligent, well-rounded, well-grounded, spiritual women who are fantastic, like caretakers, lovers. They're sexy, they're fun, they're adventurous. And I'm like, why are all these girls single? It's like an epidemic of hot, single, successful women. And we haven't been able to like figure it out. And mind you, LA is an extremely tough place to date. This is a known thing. It's very hard to date in Los Angeles for a multitude of reasons. But I've found that recently I've been dating casually, and there's different types of men, because when you do have this online persona when you're beautiful, when you're successful, when you're smart and driven, it can be intimidating and deterring to some men.
Not to men. Not to men, to boys.
Yeah, that part, to the boys, right?
So it's like...
I found that a lot of men, they just get intimidated when you are a successful woman. And it's funny, you can see them look stressed when they know that you don't need them. And it's definitely affected a lot of people's love lives. I can see it around me. And mind you, though, there are a lot of confident men that love it. Like, I'm actually currently saying this very confident man who loves my mindset, my growth mindset, and really values my opinion. And if anything, he's like, let's build this empire together, versus the boy who would be like, oh, like, she doesn't need me. Like, oh, I don't want that. So there is a lot of like differentiation there, but it's very evident.
So I have a question.
It's tricky because people start to look, especially with dating apps, like it's a catalog. Like when you're buying a car, it's like, okay, well, I want this make and model, but I want it in a different color. Okay, but this one doesn't have the leather seats that I want, even though it has the mileage I want, a good price, the perfect color. The seats are black leather, not white, so I'm going to pass.
Yeah.
And it's like, did you even drive the car? Do you even know if you like this car?
Yeah.
And
That's so funny. It's true.
but that's the reality of it, right?
Obviously, I want to be with a man who's more successful than me, right? And so what I realize is I'm like, damn, these men who are super successful, they have unlimited options. Whereas me as a successful woman, my dating pool is like tiny. Do you feel that as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the more successful you get as a woman, the less options you have.
Right. Whereas for them, it's vice versa. Yeah.
For them, it's more options.
I know.
Guys don't feel the need to be taken care of. They like to take care of you, so then they can literally take care of anyone. The more successful they get, they don't care if you're a waiter, like they don't care if you like teacher, what you are. They just are like, okay, well, if you're the right one, like it kind of is a little up. Men have so much more options than women.
Dating when you're 40 sucks. There's no way around it. It sucks. It sucks. I was on Tinder today, and I know it's whatever. Sue me. And every man that I saw, or every 3 guys, was a scammer. They were fake. They're too pretty. They have the best job. They're athletic. They're just beautiful. They're in some exotic background, travel. You can just tell. There's no way that all of these guys are between 30 to 45 minutes or miles away from me. There's no way. And then the guys who are real, bless their heart. There's no in between anymore. Like, where are y'all? What am I supposed to do? I mean, I could go out more, should go out more or something. My daughter's 14. It should be easier for me to do this, and it's not. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what apps do you do. What apps? Do people use apps anymore? What are y'all doing to meet someone? It's very frustrating. I'm like this close to just giving up. Whatever.
Get ready for another 10 years of singleness at least. Y'all think y'all are 9s and 10s. You're right where you need to be. You're in front of the guys. You're in front of the guys that you need to be in front of. You're eating chips and salsa. If it were a man, you would require him to buy you or purchase for you some expensive appetizer. And let's not even get started on the entree. But yet, when y'all take yourselves out, y'all go for free chips and salsa at your local Mexican restaurant.
I'm just gonna say it. Dating in your 30s is absolute trash. Absolutely trash. There's no good men left out there. They're already taken, or if they were good, some woman has damaged them beyond repair, and they can't ever love again because they're too messed up. So, here's to being single.
I'm single because I'm autistic. And men just don't know how to handle that. Or I just haven't met a man who has been able to handle me. Because I'm highly intelligent with a high libido. Hard R. On top of that. So it's like you have to have a certain type of patience to deal with me. And quite frankly, haven't been able to find someone who can keep up.
This is actually for the single folks. If you got a couple, you boot up, I don't think you need to hear this, but this is just a question for the single folks. Don't you feel like when you're at home by yourself and you feel lonely sometimes, you just want to have like a babe to just call them out of nowhere? Like, I just want to have a babe in that moment to like call them out loud, like, hey babes, can we go and get something to eat? Or like babes, like, could you get me some water? Like, you know, like I just want to have that one person I know that I can call and be annoyed to for that little time that we have, you know, until they piss you the fuck. But like, let's just enjoy this Delulu land for like 30 minutes or something. Like, hey babes, like, I miss you. You know what I'm saying? Is that just me, or like the single folks feeling the same way sometimes? Let me know.
Mr. Marley said everything is for the aesthetic nowadays, even the dynamics of a relationship. Yep, for a lot of modern women it is.
Good morning, single people. I'm sick of women. I'm sick of women. I am, because I only ever hang out with women. And I think I'm getting more sick of women now because the women I hang out with have been with their partners for a very, very long time. So when they hang out with the girls, it's like a break and a nice change of pace, but it's not a change of for me. This week in my newsletter, I wrote about what it's like to only ever hang out with women, to have no balance in your life whatsoever because you never have any interaction with men, literally ever, at any point in time, because they don't exist anymore. Single men are not real. They're like, you know how people think birds are drones? That's what men are now. I'm just sick of it, and you're allowed to be sick of it too, but we can't like blurt out, I'm so sick of women over like a cheese plate with the girls. It doesn't go over well. My work exists to say the hard part out loud, to say the embarrassing part out loud, to say those little private thoughts in your head out loud that you think you're the only one having them and they make you really isolated and frustrated and exhausted. No, you're not the only one. It happens to me too. You're allowed to be sick of hanging out with the girls, and you're not the only one who feels this way. I do too. I wrote about this in my newsletter this week. It's called Cheaper Than Therapy. You know exactly where you can find it if you would like to read it. And I do this kind of thing because I want single women to feel less alone and less ashamed of the thoughts in our heads.
Y'all some haters, man. Straight up. Bona fide hate.
Here's the tea, ladies, and they don't want you to know it. Life is so much more fun when you're a woman in her 30s who's single. Because I'm just having fun. I'm having fun with a lot of different people, and I'm doing it for me. The last time I really was single was like high school, because then I got into a relationship when I was 18 for 12 years, then I got into one right after that. So this really is my time to just figure out what's up with men, see how they really show up, right? So if you're in an unhappy relationship in your 30s or even in your 20s, just remember that you don't have to be. 30's not old. I'm in the prime of my life, and it's only getting better. That's all I gotta say.
Here's the tea, ladies. Yeah. Stupidity.
There is an alarmingly large amount of young American men that watch OnlyFans. Like that plus social media, plus dating apps. Like, it's really killing modern dating. It's really just killing our ability to like build genuine connections. It's just so abnormal for humans to have this much access and visibility to so many people, especially for men who are more prone to, you know, the temptations. Social media and dating apps really give the illusion of like endless options or always being able to find someone better in some way. Like, it really is so hard to find a good match. Like, what even comes after this? It's just going to be like AI and robots like replacing real humans, replacing real connections in terms of like a romantic sense. Like, trying to stay positive amid all of that, but yeah.
You know what I find funny? We talk about how men need to stop doing this type of stuff. And I get it. I agree. I'm on your side, but we don't seem to talk about how women need to stop doing this type of stuff. Well, how many women do you know that actually look at that type of stuff? Oh, it's not many women, statistically speaking. Right. don't I see y'all in the comments talking about forget the man and just go get a toy? Aren't y'all reading books that cause y'all to fantasize and then be thinking about a way a man should be and how you want to be with a man? Isn't that what 50 Shades of Grey was? Liked it so much you made another one. Maybe they made a third one. I don't know. I'm not sure. Thought I heard something about it. Isn't that what that is? Isn't that what y'all's fantasy is? So your mind is effectively ending up in the same place as the dudes. But yet somehow you think that you have the moral high ground to sit up here and talk about trying to get men some help. Talking about why men do the things that they do. And once again, I'm not condoning it. I don't want to make it seem like I'm condoning what these guys are doing, looking these things up and indulging in these things. I understand it, but I don't want to make it seem like go ahead and do that. Right? But I just want to understand why. Women have whole power strips, whole surge protectors of toys that they be sitting there watching some of the same type of things that men watch. Or maybe you watch a show and it has a little bit of a steamy scene in there. Or maybe you read a book and it has a nice little steamy scene that you like. Or maybe you're just thinking back to whatever it is that you went through. And then you pull something out and take care of yourself and go on about your day. But that's okay. Because it's not the same to you guys as looking at a computer or looking at a phone. It's okay to do that, but not for men to do what they're doing. Double standard.
So my friend is not dating, and she's been telling me that she feels lonely. That when she goes out in public and she sees all these women with wedding rings and talking about their husbands, that she feels like she's left out of something. And I had to remind her that when you see a wedding ring on a woman's finger, sometimes that's not a wedding ring. That's a handcuff, girl. She's in prison. I have been working with women and leading women's groups for 25 years. Of the women I know, I would guess maybe only 10% of them are happy in their marriages. Statistically, when I see married women, I don't think that they're happy. Now you can tell which ones are happy because they say great things about their man. They're always doting on their man and saying how awesome he is. And he's saying awesome things about her too. It's rare that happens. So if you are a single woman and you're out there thinking that you're being left out, honey, you're not. You're free. I'm not saying there aren't good men out there. It took me 46 years to find one. But unfortunately, society and TV and movies are constantly trying to romanticize marriage and relationships. And the majority of the time, those relationships are not good. They're not healthy. You don't want that. You know, comparison is the thief of joy. So we just have to stop comparing ourselves to the single women that are out there going around having fun, enjoying their life, traveling, and having all that money in their bank account, to the married women that you think are happy and enjoying their life and having companionship. You don't really know if they're happy. Either side. I mean, studies do show that the single woman is probably more likely to be happy. Now, I want you all to find love and companionship. I do. But I don't want you all to be like sad thinking that you're missing out on something, that there's all these wonderful available men out there that you're just not getting. I think it's rare to find a good man who is single when you're single at the same time, who lives local to you, who's around your age, who's as successful as you, who you're compatible with, who you have chemistry with, who you have care and connection with, and who you have emotional connection with. That's rare. And on top of it, when you get together, it requires a lot of effort to maintain that connection and that closeness and that care and consideration. You're not missing out on something that everybody has because most people don't have it.
It's funny, isn't it? It's funny. I had to remind her of what? Maybe she told you. And once again, you gaslighted her over and over again, which is what a lot of modern women do. They continue to gaslight their friends and their family members, depending on how many women you have in your family, depending on what age range they are. They be gaslighting little children. No, you don't want to be right. You don't want that. That's not for you. All these men are terrible. Don't worry about it. Hope with Holly. Hope with Holly is your TikTok tag. And you think this is a form of giving women hope? Of course you can spin it and say yes, because you would rather them be what? Let's go down the line of the most horrific and horrendous things that men can do to make you want to stay single. And then we can, honestly, more than half of those, probably 80-90% of those, we can turn right back and say, you guys are doing this exact same thing. But of course, when you do it, it doesn't count, right? Of course, when you do it, it don't matter. Men should just take me, flaws and all. That's how I am. Men should be appreciative of that and just work with me. Just work with me. I'm not perfect, but my love for you is perfect. Drag that man through a whole bunch of nonsense. But then, in this scenario, do you really actually want to be married? I had to remind her. With that type of attitude, who would want to be in your space? I had to remind her that the people that I be in relationship, I be looking at and they're in relationships, I be coming into contact with, that ring is a prison. Girl, shut up. Shut up.
I don't get why I'm still single. I don't get it. I'm a catch. What is going on in my life where I don't have a man? Or are my standards too high? Do I box myself in a corner all the time? Like nowadays, men today want to be chased. What happened to masculinity? What happened to chivalry? What happened to men courting women? What happened to that? Back in the day, dating was so much easier and it was fun. Today's dating is hell. You give a guy your number and all of a sudden you don't hear from them until like 3 to 4 days later. What was the point of me giving you my number? If you're not going to text me, I don't get it. The talking doesn't go as far as the actual app. There are no, oh, let me take you out to dinner. Let's go catch a movie. Let's go to a cafe and get to know each other. What's with all the endless text messages? What happened to men actually planning dates? What happened to it? I don't get it. How do you date in today's society? What are some of your red flags and your non-negotiables? I do not chase men. I don't do it. I did it once, would never do it again. No, never again will I chase a guy. My biggest ick is a guy that can't hold a conversation. Now, I gotta talk the whole goddamn date. I hate it. I don't got time to be dating no guy that don't have no money. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound shallow, but
Feminism conditioned us to pick the worst type of men, and here's how. Some of y'all's britches are going to be in a bind after this one. Super hyper dependence has caused us to pick emotionally unavailable men. And I know this speaking from experience. And the rejection of positive masculinity opens the door for the toxic, weak masculinity. So when you start slapping labels on positive masculine things like provision, providing, headship, you invite a weak man who will either not be able to lead as a man or someone who will manipulate you to thinking that they can. Been there. Feminism has glorified rebellion, not discernment. Women are confusing chaos with chemistry, so now those bad boys become the thrill, while the emotionally available, the stable boys become boring. And feminism has taught us to be that man that we were meant to receive, and then we walk around and wonder why we can't find a good one. Ladies, I know when you're on your own, you have to be independent. You have to wear the pants. I get it. But when you find that good man that is honoring you, cherishing you, providing for you, protecting your heart, girl, take those britches off. I'm not meaning hypothetically. I mean, whatever y'all do behind closed doors, that's your business. But I'm saying, take those britches off, those boss babe pants, and allow him to lead you.
If I am going to something that is advertised as a singles event, then I expect for there to be some sort of direction, some sort of hosting, some sort of guidance when it comes to networking with the participants, when it comes to meeting people who are a part of the event. If I wanted to go sit at the bar and just meet people at the bar, I can do that without buying a ticket to a singles event. I went to a singles event tonight that was supposed to be, and it was at a bar here in Charlotte. And we walked in the bar, they took our names down. Again, this is something I bought a ticket to. They gave us a list of 3 questions that were questions that I would never ask anybody. But
They gave us a list of 3 questions, and that was it for the rest of the 4 hours of the event. Well, 3 for me because I got there like an hour late. I'm just like, I went to the event because of the fact that it was how it was marketed, as it's gonna be like these icebreakers. I feel like they said something about karaoke. Maybe I looked at the wrong thing, but it was supposed to be like, you know, icebreaker games, single mingle type games where we are at this event, everyone together, you know, talking, mingling, doing that type of thing. This was a regular day at the bar, like, and it was mostly women too. This is something I could have did on my own. And this is the second singles event that I've been to that was not a singles event. I feel like people just like advertise stuff as one thing just to get people there, and then you get there and it's something completely different, or it's just like a regular day. Like, it was just a regular, like, I just had a drink at the bar. I did meet one person, a woman that, you know, I might, we were just like, oh, you know, where are you from? Well, I like food, I like to eat, I like this, I like that, let's hang out. Like, I met a possible friend. But as far as a singles event, like, where was the singles event? Like, we need to do better. Or maybe I just need to find, I don't know. It was just not what I was expecting. That was not curated, directed, no guidance, no nothing. Just like, oh, hey, you bought a ticket, thanks, go get a drink at the bar. Like, that was it. And I understand, like, you need to, like, network, talk to people, introduce yourself to people, but when it's this type of event and it's marketed like that, then I just expect there to be a little bit more direction, guidance, more, you know, like, activity type things. So that was my Saturday afternoon. The drink was just all right. I would never go back to that bar. I did not like the vibe in there at all. But yeah, let's start advertising things as the way they are. Or, you know, putting a little bit more effort into the events that we are putting on, and making sure that the point of the event is actually met. Yeah, end of my rant.
So I think the icebreaker was those questions. And I would say that you're probably a smart woman, so you would get the concept of it. So if you're sitting at the bar across from a man or side of a man, depending on how the bar is set up, I don't know where you were, but you would kind of peek over, or he would kind of peek over, preferably for a lot of women. The man would kind of peek over and say, hey, you know, are you here for the singles event? Yeah. So well, how you doing tonight? I'm doing pretty good. This icebreaker thing, did you get a chance to finish that? Oh, yeah. So what were your answers, if you don't mind me asking? Well, you said that you wouldn't ask anybody these questions, but it is what it is. Well, what about these questions? Oh, yeah, they're so crazy. So what did you get on what did you answer? Oh, man, I'm kind of embarrassed. And, you know, that type of stuff that you kind of talk about. And that's the icebreaker. And you have a conversation. And depending on how it goes, he gets your number. Y'all continue talking. But for a lot of singles events, that's essentially what they become, is women going to meet other women, because they never ever truly seem to really like the men that are there.